All right, welcome back. The U.S. Consulate Public Affairs Officer, Stephen Ibelli, is joining me right now via Zoom. Hello, Stephen, and welcome to the program. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can, Nancy. Thanks so much for having me on Moneyline this morning. Wonderful to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Now, let's get straight to the nitty-gritty. When I got to know about the groundbreaking ceremony, you guys called it a groundbreaking ceremony. The U.S. ambassador performed that ceremony with some other invited guest, Beth Leonard. And what came to my mind was the amount involved, $537 million. That's just close to, more than $500 million. Why is the United States interested in building the largest consulate in Nigeria, the largest consulate in the world in Nigeria? Why is that?
Thanks so much, Nancy. That's a great question. I think really the investment that the United States is making in Nigeria, in Lagos, is really indicative of the deep relationship that we have with Nigeria and with Lagos. Nigeria is the largest economy, democracy, has the largest population in Africa, and therefore is an incredibly strategic partner with the United States. In addition to that, there are over 500,000 Nigerian Americans who live in the United States. This is one of the biggest populations of Africans in the United States, as well as tens of thousands of Nigerian Americans living right here in Nigeria. The ties that bind us together are deep and strong. If you look at even the creative industry, sports, music, entertainment, you see really deep ties, and you see a real burgeoning relationship between the two countries. There are also over 13,000 Nigerian students who are studying this academic year, in the United States. And so if you look at any of the sectors, whether it's education or security or economy or health, that relationship is very, very, very robust. And that is the reason why we are investing in a world-class consulate in the heart of Lagos at Echo Atlantic City.
That takes me to my second question. Why the choice of that location? Because there are other prime real estate locations across perhaps Lagos too. Why did you choose that? Why is it? It's close to the waters. Why is it that? I'm interested. Would you have something under the water? Or you like?
No, thanks very much, Nancy, for that question. We follow the Department of State through its Bureau of Overseas Building Operations, which is in charge of building all of our consulates and embassies around the world. Really follows a standard and exhaustive process. This process started in 2011, believe it or not. And OBO, the Overseas Building Operations Bureau, contracts real estate professionals. They have real estate professionals, career professionals on staff. And they started a real exhaustive search for properties in the Lagos area. So I think it's really important to keep in mind that this process has spanned over three U.S. presidential administrations: the Obama administration, the Trump administration, and now the Biden administration. And so through that exhaustive process, now Echo Atlantic City was identified. Echo Atlantic City also has the support of the Lagos state government, regional and municipal governments as well, and is a great site, I think, that will provide not only access but also security as well, which is always important when you're building a consulate or embassy abroad.
Now, the other question would be the size of the construction. It will cost $537 million. That's a lot of money in every ramification. If you take a look at that, my question is, how will it benefit the Nigerian people, the economics of it?
Oh, great question, Nancy. Well, first of all, I mean, we build to last. We're in our present consulate now, which we've kind of outgrown, but that was built in the 70s, but the building is still quite functional. And so we really invest and we build to last. And so we are building for the future. We're building for the next decades to really show that relationship. But this is also a real benefit to the local economy. We estimate that it'll inject about $100 million in the local economy because we buy from local suppliers. We'll be buying all the cement, all of the supplies from local suppliers. In addition, we're going to employ throughout the phase of the project about 2,500 Nigerian engineers and architects and artisans that will also benefit not only from the employment, but also being exposed to those world-class construction techniques, real innovative construction using new materials, using green technology to really build out our buildings. And so we're very, very, very excited about that opportunity in partnering with our Nigerian partners, with Nigerian employees, to really build a world-class facility that will really serve this relationship for decades to come.
I like that you're giving me specifics in terms of numbers. I really like that, at least since the start of this interview. I'm really interested in the kind of direct jobs, because when I saw the news, I was like, okay, how is this really going to filter through the locals, perhaps those in the construction industry in Lagos that may be part of this construction? And I like that you've given me that in terms of engineers. Are those engineers going to also be local? Would we see a mix of perhaps U.S. engineers and the Nigerian engineers? I would also want to know who the specific contractors for this building will be, and perhaps when this building will be completed.
Sure. Well, we've just started really the construction. I mean, the groundbreaking really just started right after our ceremony. And so I know that the construction partner, Pernex from Lombard, Illinois, is really engaged in identifying those local suppliers, identifying all of the employees that are going to be part of the project. I think also what's really interesting, as you pointed out, Nancy, is this nexus and this transfer between our American construction partners, American employees, and Nigerian employees. So there'll be some transfer of those techniques of how to build buildings in the American style that we do. In addition, they'll be exposed to a lot of safety training. Everyone who works at our site has to go through safety training. We take safety very, very, very seriously. So they'll be exposed to that, and they'll be exposed also, as I mentioned earlier, to these innovative American construction techniques. The campus is very big. It's going to be over 5 hectares of land. The chancery will be about 14,000 square feet, which is really big, 10-story building. In addition to that, there'll be support buildings around that will have an additional 19,000 square feet. It is the only consulate in the world that will also have a boat dock. And that will be a real interesting way to come to work as well for the consulate employees.
Okay, fantastic that you've really said that. I don't know if this next question is relevant, but I should ask it. And why I'm saying if this next question is relevant is because of this news about $537 million U.S. Consulate building. And the question is, how would you describe Nigeria-American bilateral relationship now? That was why I said, if the question is really relevant.
There's a direct connection between our investment and really the strength of the relationship across all of our different sectors, health, education, economy. We are very much involved with Nigerian partners, the Nigerian government, with local business partners in this deep relationship. There are many American companies here. We have a foreign commercial service that works full-time on trying to bridge the gap between American companies and the Nigerian government. Kimberly-Clark, for example, just opened a huge factory in Ikorodu that's going to employ hundreds, if not thousands, of people in making products for the Nigerian market. That is just one success story there. So we're really excited about this nexus and really deepening the relationship between the two countries.
Now, in terms of economic relations, Stephen, where is the U.S. supporting more? Where is the U.S. supporting Nigeria more? Is it agriculture? Is it in terms of entrepreneurs? Is it in terms of youth inclusion? Is it in terms of women? what sector is the U.S. skewed to more?
Well, I would say it's all of the above. You know, as I said, we have the Foreign Commercial Service that works with American companies that want to do business in Nigeria, but they also work with Nigerian companies that want to do business in the United States. We also have the Foreign Agricultural Service here that really works full time on imports to Nigeria as well as Nigerian exports, and working with Nigerian companies to meet those standards, those high standards that we have for food products, for unadulterated products, for example, that are exported to the United States. One, you know, great success story that we have is the Ukun dairy farm, excuse me, where we have many American cows producing over 10,000 liters of milk for this dairy farm. And that is just a great success story. We actually call them the flying dairy cows because we ship them by air to Nigeria. That was the best way to ensure the safety of the animals. And so they were actually flown. I don't know what class they were in. I don't know if they were in business or in economy, but they were certainly flown to Nigeria. And that farm is doing very well. That is a direct result of the work that our colleagues at the Foreign Agricultural Service do. They work on chicken feed. They work on the poultry market. They've also talked about different types of crops that they're introducing to Nigeria, stronger crops that can withstand heat or withstand extreme conditions, and all of that is a great investment for Nigeria and its people.
Stephen, is there any other support that the U.S. mission is lending to Nigeria across? I know what you just said is the agri sector, the food industry. Is there any other kind of support? Since Nigeria is largely an agrarian society, we have so many natural or food resources, but we're still in the primary stage. We're talking about processing and all of that. How does the U.S. mission support the food industry and the agribusiness value chain in Nigeria?
Yeah, no, great question, Nancy. Again, as I said, the Foreign Agricultural Service really works with a lot of Nigerian partners in really what their needs are, whether that's introducing crops, whether that's exporting to the U.S., whether that's American companies exporting to Nigeria. We work on all of those different sectors. You know, you mentioned women. That's another big area for us in women's empowerment, women's entrepreneurship, because if you look at the data, if you look at statistics, and I know, you know, you were talking about sort of statistics right before I came on, when women do better, women invest in their families, they invest in their communities, the country stronger. And so since 2019, we have started a program called the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, where we really take them through some standards about how to develop their businesses, how to grow their businesses. So far, we've had about 520 graduates who are doing business across many different sectors. There are women running security firms. There are women running automobile body part shops, for example, in addition to cosmetics, beauty products, food, spices. It really cuts across many sectors. And we see even women now getting funding from United States institutions like the Africa Development Fund. Some have even gotten funding from Nigerian sources, like the Bank of Industry, for example. So we're really proud of our entrepreneurs. We're really proud of our graduates because they are really making a difference, you know, in their communities and in their local societies as well.
Now, I'm glad that you talked about the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs. That's the AWE program, which is a women-focused program. What is the selection process for those women, for those that are listening right now? What's the selection process? Are there specific business or entrepreneurship sectors that you're most interested in?
Well, we welcome really all women that either have a business idea or have a business that's already started or already going, and it's really quite an open selection. It's just for women from age 18 to 45, and they have to be a little bit computer literate, be able to, you know, just to use a computer, use the internet, and they have to be able to dedicate at least 5 hours a week towards this program. which is run with our wonderful partner Ascend Studios. This program is incredibly popular. We saw over 15,000 applications for our program that just closed a few weeks ago. It is an annual program, so there will be a call for applications, next March and April. But this is for 250 slots. We had 15,700 applications, and we go through each and every application. There are teams that go through, take an initial, and then another team that really boils it down to 250 women that participate in the program. And one of the benefits is not only women learning how to grow their businesses, how to export to the United States, how to market their products, but it creates a network in and of themselves. And you see a lot of these women in these groups supporting each other. They actually just founded an alumni association. One of the benefits is that they become U.S. government alumni, and we really focus in on our alumni, do events with them, we fund some of their projects, we have them, they're applicable to, or they're able to apply for grant money, not only from the U.S. Consulate and Mission Nigeria, but also from the Africa Development Fund, for example, and other funds that are available to them. And so we're really proud of the work that they do, and they work very, very, very hard. Last year, we actually had a few slots for women who were victims of trafficking. And so, one of our goals in Mission Nigeria is also to work with underserved communities, or communities that maybe just don't have access to the resources that other communities might. And so we were very, very proud to see some of these women doing really, really well, who really had struggled and had a lot of challenges and were returned, recently to Nigeria.
Okay, if we're talking about seed funding, can you give me an idea of how much this is, especially for women that, pass the criteria, the 250 women eventually? Is there a minimum of seed funding, and is there a maximum? I would like to know what the amount is.
It really depends. The Africa Development Fund does grants from, 10,000 to 25,000. Usually to help women start their businesses. On the Nigerian side, I think, probably Nigerian officials would be better, better placed to talk about, sort of their limits of funding. But, we've seen certainly women qualify for funding from the Bank of Industry, as I met, and some also Lagos state funding as well. And in addition to, the grants, our grants range anywhere from $5,000 all the way up to, $50,000, $75,000, depending on the project, depending on really what we're looking for. So there is, funding available, but really the idea is to have these women who have these businesses really be independent and be able to generate a profit, invest in their communities, grow their businesses. And some of them, have become household names. So we're really, really proud of really the work that they have done in growing their businesses and also supporting their communities as a result.
Okay, are there any follow-up activities to monitor the progress of participants at this AWE program, Academy for Women Entrepreneurs program? Are there any activities or follow-up to ensure their progress, or is it just about, okay, if you're able to pass, you do that, we just leave you with face other women?
No, I think there's always follow-up, Nancy, and I think that's really the strength of the consulate, is we really care about our alumni. They become alumni, and so we often have alumni engagements. When we have receptions, when we have events at the consulate, we always invite our alumni. Last year, we had a special reception with our Consul General, with the association, or the Alumni Association of the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs. They have their own board, their own steering committee. They've gotten funding to do some events as well. So we keep in very, very close contact, not only with our Academy for Women Entrepreneurs alumni, but really alumni across the board, whether that's the Mandela Washington Fellowship or YALI, our Fulbright alumni. We were actually just in Oyo last week for the 16th annual Fulbright Alumni Association Conference, which we also help to fund, that bring Fulbright from all over the country to specific cities that change every year. And so we really invest in our alumni. We have invested in our alumni through these programs. And so we don't want to lose that connection. So if you look at any university across this country, you will find Fulbright alumni. If you look across any kind of NGO or any kind of organization, chances are you will find a U.S. government exchange alumni as well, because we invest in them and because they have also started their own associations as well, that they keep a close connection to the U.S. Consulate, and we work together on our policy goals, whether that's, again, women empowerment, whether that's health education, whether that's promoting vaccines for COVID, against sort of vaccine hesitancy that some people may have. So the breadth of this is really quite broad, and we're very, very proud of that.
Mm. Stephen, I want to say thank you very much for joining us today. It's been so nice speaking with you and at least getting more insights on not just the $537 million new consulate building, which we expect to be concluded in the next few years, and what the U.S. is doing to support Nigerian women. So thank you, Stephen. I hope to talk to you guys soon, and we'll continue to monitor the progress of the new consulate. Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks so much, Nancy. Happy to come back anytime to talk about all of our wonderful initiatives throughout Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be happy to host you again. All right, I've been speaking with the U.S. Consulate Public Affairs Officer, Stephen Ibelli. We've been talking about the $537 million US dollars new consulate construction, as well as the women program called the AWE program, the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs. So like you had it there, 15,000 applied, 250 will be chosen. It's done annually. So if you're a woman that is watching and you're interested, just, fasten your seatbelt and wait for next year. Let's quickly take a break. And when we come back from the break, I'll be giving you an update on the